2022. We're going to take a couple of minutes to let everyone get into the room, but we hope to see your face today. So if you feel comfortable, please put your camera on so that we can learn together and build community. But please know that these sessions are being recorded on our Facebook Live. So welcome. We'll get started in a minute. Good morning. While we're waiting, we'd love to see, you introduce yourselves in the chat. Where are you from? What school do you go to? Looks like some folks from El Paso. So glad y'all are here. All right, well, we will get started. Welcome to Social Work Advocacy Day, hosted by the National Association of Social Workers Texas chapter. My name is Allison Moore-Bulware. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And a visual description of myself is that I'm a fair-skinned person with long brownish hair, and I'm wearing gold hoop earrings. And behind me is a SWAD background, virtual background that has the logo for NASW-TX and a little person on a laptop with the SWAD logo in the top corner. And Will.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Will Francis. I'm the Executive Director of NASW-TX. I use he, him, and his pronouns. I'm fair-skinned as well, with glasses, a blazer, a tie with little tiny turtles on it, red hair, and an office that's in slight disarray behind me. And I'm so glad to see you all here this morning.
Yeah, so we have a full day for y'all, but before we get started, we wanted to go through some engagement guidelines. As y'all know, as social workers and social work students, it's so important for us to have some guidelines before we start an event like this. We're so thankful for everyone being here and for all that they bring to the table and to this space. So we're asking that first you speak your truth and honor the power of storytelling. We also ask that you hold space for both individual advocacy voices and collective impact, to consider both your impact and your intent when you're sharing something in the chat or verbally in this event. We ask that you challenge the idea and not the individual, and to ask questions and learn together. And last is to have fun. This is a time for us to connect, to build community and grow together. Feel free to use emoji reactions when people are speaking to show what you're thinking about things and to help engage. Please know that if anyone is being disrespectful in the chat or in a breakout room, that Will or I will step in and approach you. If there is a second time from the same person, please know that you may be removed from the event. And again, y'all, let's go back to the social work code of ethics that we must be respectful to one another as colleagues. And this is a great example of how to do that in an event like this. Will.
Who is NASW-TX? So as you can see here, we represent the clients and the social workers across this great state. I think it's really important to know that the work we do is a big balance between supporting social justice in our communities and ensuring that we are here fighting for the profession and all that you either do as a social worker or will do as an emerging social worker here in Texas or wherever you head off from there. We have over 5,000 members across the state, over 110,000 total members nationwide, and that includes a couple of territories as well. So it's really cool that we're actually outside the United States or outside of sort of the borders of the contiguous United States. We are a member-driven board with equity committees and a PAC, and what that really means is that we rely on volunteers. It is a huge part of our mission to incorporate and really engage with the voices of our members. On all of our equity committees, on our board, on all positions, we have MSW and BSW positions, and we're always looking for members to step into those roles. We really want to see you all be.
Will, I think you accidentally muted yourself. Or
I'm not sure if you can hear Taylor. If you could go into his office, I'll pick up. Yes, so as Will was saying, we are really driven by our members, and that's why it's so important for folks to join NASW to join our work. And a little bit more about our advocacy. So NASW Texas, we are the state chapter of NASW, or the national office. Did you all hear me now? Oh, now we can hear Will, so.
Okay.
Okay, I think he's muted now. Sorry, y'all, tech issues. You know how it goes on Zoom. But NASW Texas is the chapter of NASW National. So while NASW Texas advances our own legislative agenda, our own priorities, there is also advocacy happening at NASW National. Now, all of this is based on the Social Work Speaks platform, which has extremely in-depth views and policy stances on every social work related issue under the sun. And all of those platforms are updated every, I think, 2 to 3 years by a group of social workers that are experts in that field across the nation. And so it's important to know that NASW represents all social workers, regardless of the work you do, regardless of your background and or your views on things. And so it's really important that we keep that in mind, that we are here to represent all social workers and that you are welcome here. If you're interested in looking more at our legislative priorities for Texas, we have a link here where you can go look at what we fought for at the Capitol last session. As Will said, we really balance social justice issues, which is so important in Texas, as well as protecting the social work profession and fighting for the social work profession in and around the Capitol. All right, so we would love for you to share on social media during this event. Here are all of the events that all of the social media handles that we have on Facebook. It's NASW Texas, Instagram, Twitter. We have 2 Twitter accounts, actually. One is our general Twitter. The other one is our advocacy Twitter. And then we also have an intern-run TikTok page that you can check out for some fun videos that our interns have created. All right, so you'll see that some of us are wearing SWAD t-shirts. Woohoo! If you're wearing a shirt, can you show? If you would like a shirt, you can still order one. You can go to the link there to get one with this amazing logo and event design on it by one of our interns. So we hope that if you want a shirt, you're able to get it. If there are any groups of y'all that are wearing shirts today, we know that some schools were doing events together. We would love to see a group photo of y'all in your shirts. So please take one and make sure to send it to us. All right, do you need something during this event? First, check out the NASW Texas SWAD website. We have an FAQ page. We have a bunch of materials there, the agenda's there, everything you need. But if there isn't a question, if you have a question that wasn't answered on there, send an email to NASW-SWAD-TX@gmail.com. We have people watching that email all day today. So if you have an immediate need, that's the best way to get that addressed. All right, SWAD goals. And is Will able to speak, or do I need to keep speaking?
Can you hear me, Allison?
We can hear you.
Hey, everybody. Thanks. Sorry, a little technical issue with the phones here, but I'm back. SWAD goals: growth through adversity, uprating oppressive social work practices. Really, I think one of the big things that we want to explore today is what does it mean to be a social worker in Texas? What are the challenges facing the profession, facing our clients? And what does it mean when we are advocating for change and transformation in systems that sometimes don't want to change, and with people who feel that what we're fighting for doesn't necessarily align with some of those larger goals that they see. So really the hope is that we have some really good discussions and a really good exploration of areas that we have to speak up in, that we have both a social work and a code of ethics imperative to really raise our voices and ensure that we're not only fighting for the right to support all clients and those clients' right to self-determination, but that we're fighting for the right for social work to fight for its own right to self-determination as a profession. And so we're super excited to really frame the day with this overall goal. We also want to make sure we want to empower social work students and professionals to grow together. Social work advocacy really does look different at the micro, meso, and macro level, and yet the alignment we know is there. Not only does the code of ethics really encourage us to be aware of what's happening at the policy level if we're in direct practice, and if we're in direct practice to be really fighting up for the funding and the policies that are really going to support work we do, but that understanding that the threads through all of these is really what makes social work so important.
As many of you know who sit there in your systems classes and you look at things from that systems perspective, we have to frame things with our client and our families and our communities as they fit in the larger systems in Texas. And so we really want to explore that, and we really want to see where are those systems sometimes oppressive, and where are those systems really putting pressure on our clients, and where are we really able to empower our clients to speak up and sometimes use our own voices in our advocacy to ensure that we're bringing the kind of transformation we want to see across Texas. And then there you go, the 3 levels of advocacy change: micro, macro, and meso. I'm super excited that we get to focus some on meso today, since that's often the afterthought when it comes to our systems. Meso is really a wonderful one. It's an area that I've worked. It's an area that I know many of our interns have an interest in, that Allison herself has worked in. It's really that movement between systems, and it really allows us to engage in all sorts of different ways. So I really encourage you to really think, how does the meso fit in this as well, and not just the macro and the macro and the micro part.
Awesome. Thanks, Will. So very briefly over our agenda, right now we're doing our welcome. We're already a couple minutes behind, but y'all know how that goes. We'll get moving. Then we have our SWAD kickoff and networking. Then we have a keynote speaker by Dr. Prince. Then we have a special message from Representative Diego Bernal. Then in the afternoon, we have a Dare to Dream Meso social work panel. And then from 2 to 3, we have our advocacy in action, taking it micro sessions, where you get to choose whether you go to a legislative office visit for 30 minutes or you go to an advocate Q&A panel. And both of those are available 2 times. So you can make 2 choices on what you would like to do during that session. All the information about the legislative office visits are on the NASW-TX SWAD website. So you can see what topics we're covering and feel comfortable for that legislative office visit. Then last, we're going to wrap it up with a closing rally where we want to hear from you about what your advocacy passion is. Also, keep track of what you engage in today, because if you attend 3 sessions during SWAD, you can get an advocacy certificate. Don't worry, we're going to post this link again to make sure that you have it later on today, but please just keep track of what you do throughout the event. All right, so let's get going. Over to you, Jess.
Awesome, thank you so much. And I am just going to share my screen instead. Okay, awesome. All right, do y'all see the slideshow?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, we're seeing a behind the scenes look though. Not
Okay, that is what I'm asking. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate.
Zachary, love that background.
Well, that is really
I just have to say, it's really cool to see how many classes we can see here. How many of y'all have gotten together to from a group with?
Hello, classes. Yes, I see them waving their hands. So cool.
I am so sorry, y'all. I don't know why my my thing is doing that. I just need 1 more minute here. And
No problem at all, Jess. Well, we'd love to see in the chat from the classes. Where are all the classes located? What schools are y'all from? Tarleton.
Mary Hardin Baylor.
Woo! Awesome. Oh my goodness.
Kingsville, Texas.
Yes. Amazing.
Well, I'm just gonna do it. Perfect. Let's just do it like this. And
Awesome. Abilene Christian. Just that is full screen.
okay, I just don't have my my script up here. That's really frustrating. Okay, well, let's see. That's so
Jess,
weird.
do you want me to put it up full
Yeah,
screen?
that would be great. Thank you.
Okay,
I'm sorry that
yeah.
that's happening. I've never had this happen with the presenter view before. So that's really frustrating. I appreciate it.
It's not a SWAT event without some technical issues.
I
Yes,
know,
you are
so
all
true. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself while we're getting that set up then. My name is Jess Riley. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm a BSW and the Student Engagement Coordinator here at NASW Texas. For a visual description of myself, I'm a fair-skinned white woman with light brown hair, wearing my white and teal SWAD 2022 t-shirt and gold hoop earrings. Behind me is the iconic red, white, and blue virtual SWAD Zoom background that Allison described just a moment ago. And to kick things off, I wanted to share the story of my first SWAD several years ago when we were in person at the Capitol. I've been to 2 social work advocacy days as an attendee now and have helped coordinate 2 of them as an intern and now as staff. And I got to tell you, that first year, I was so excited. I have always been called towards macro and policy level work and the integration of all of that. But as a young student, I was still trying to figure out what that even meant or looked like. And the fact that events like this one even existed was a revelation to me. Anyways, I had no idea what I was doing, but I wanted to express all of my opinions on all of these different bills that NASW Texas was supporting. So I prepped for days before with the help of the St. Edward's Social Work Student Association, woohoo, shout out, and wrote something like 11 different letters to different committee heads telling them to support or oppose different bills. And there was only one problem. When I got there, I had absolutely no idea where any of the legislative offices were. And if you've been to the Capitol, then you know that it can be a bit of a maze. After having the opportunity to meet with some social work staffers with my school, we broke off as a large group, and I rallied a couple of other students who I had just met that day. We got a map from the info desk and set out on a scavenger hunt to find these offices. By the time the actual rally came around, there was a herd of 4 or 5 of us just moving from office to office, all to help me drop off these statements that I had written. But essentially, SWAD helped me find my voice. It helped me claim my political power and most of all, make new friends. And even though we're virtual again this year, the entire NASW staff and all of the interns have worked so hard to make sure that you all come away with the same feeling that I got on that day. So we'll go to the next slide. And on that note, let's introduce ourselves. So please introduce yourself in the chat. I know we've been doing it some already, but if you want to, again, your name, your pronouns, your school or your work setting, and your social work realm, AKA micro, meso, macro practice. And for large groups and schools who are joining us today through one Zoom account, share in the chat what college or university you're from and how many students are tuning in today. Awesome. And I know y'all been introducing yourselves already as well. I love reading about where everyone's from and, hopefully some levels of social work in there to get a feel for where people are coming from perspective wise. Awesome. And, typically when we were in person, we would do a roll call of the schools where everyone would yell and clap when their school is named, but we have to adjust to a virtual environment. So once you've introduced yourself in the chat, why don't we go ahead and throw out a heart emoji that's the color of your school, or a hand clap emoji, or one of those, celebration emojis. I would love to see that. I will do mine for my alma mater. Yay, thanks y'all. So fun, love to keep it colorful. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next slide while people are doing that. Please continue to. I love the engagement. So I just want to start off with this before we kind of get into it. So the students of today are the leaders of tomorrow. And while this is not a student-only event, I know that we have a lot of students here, and I really want to take the opportunity to talk to y'all about this. NASW has an important role in supporting social work students as they grow throughout their academic careers and begin to develop a sense of professional identity. This means actively engaging with students and empowering them to utilize association resources and be leaders in their communities. Across the country, NASW leaders are working to transform the way that we connect with students to be responsive to their unique needs and experiences. NASW Texas is one of several chapters who have helped lead this movement, and we've created a new part-time staff position, the Student Engagement Coordinator, which I currently serve as and help to develop. From advocacy to programming and events to marketing communications to decisions being made by leadership, the voices of social work students are vital in what we do at NASW Texas. Specifically, in this role, I prioritize building new student resources, coordinating active outreach efforts and campus partnerships, emphasizing local community relationships by supporting our branches, and developing opportunities for more student-powered programs, projects, and events. That being said, I am so happy to be with you all this morning, students and professionals alike, and I'm excited to see where we grow from here. Next slide. Great. Well, let's just touch base real quick about some session goals. So this session, this kickoff and breakout networking, the goals are to connect authentically with other attendees, get energized to attend the rest of SWAD, and build your networks by gathering some contacts, exchanging some information. For housekeeping and reminders, again, be respectful and kind to all, practice self-awareness, see what everyone wants to share, and things are timed tightly today. Keep cameras on if possible, especially for this event. We really want people to connect and have conversation, and I'm really excited for that. And again, unmute to minimize background noise. And next slide. All right, now this is the main portion of today's section, and we will be in rooms for about 20 to 25 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and set up those rooms right now. There will be about 5 of you per room, and I'll send out some questions through the chat to kind of get to know each other and talk about why you're here and things like that. If you are a large group and you are on one Zoom account and have a bunch of people in a classroom, do not accept that prompt. You're going to stay in the main room and we'll have questions for you there that you can do with your school in person. And whenever we're ready, Taylor, I think we're good to launch the breakout rooms if everyone feels good about that.
Absolutely. And I do want to let you know that the breakout rooms are going to be a little bit larger than we expected, just because we can only have up to 50 and we had such a great turnout this morning.
Okay,
So,
well, sounds good.
So I'm going to go ahead and create those, and remember to not accept that if you're in a large group. Of course. All right, having some technical difficulties. Give me a second. I'm going to try that again. All right.
My SWAD story, if you'd like, or Taylor, are the rooms ready to go?
All right, they're ready to go.
There we go.
Go ahead and tell your story, Allison.
It's all good. I'll share it later.
I'm getting issues again.
Oh, okay. Then I'll share my story. Let's see. So I was a social work student when I attended my first SWAD, and I felt, well, one, it was an extremely cold day, and I remember being cold walking to and from the Capitol from my car. But it was such an awesome opportunity to hear from social workers that worked at the Capitol. I didn't know that you could do that work as a social worker. And so that was what made me decide to do my final field placement at the Capitol, was hearing from social workers that worked at the Capitol, sharing their stories. And it was a really, really cool experience and helped me, learn more about what advocacy looks like for social workers.
All right, Allison, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you the host, and I'm going to come over there and do it from your computer.
All right.
Well, while we're doing that, Allison, can you go to the next slide and we'll just look at what the first round of breakout questions looks like, so you guys can get ready to introduce yourself once you get there. Again, we try to make it all smooth, but there's never a perfect time. So this is what the first round of questions will be. Once you get out into your breakout room, all of the questions will be sent through the chat. So that's where you'll receive them. But just to prepare yourself for the first round of introductions, once you get into those groups, these are just a couple of the things that I'm asking you to introduce yourselves with once you are speaking out loud. So just think about kind of maybe your little answer to these and get ready to share once we get in those breakout rooms. And again, we appreciate your patience. A part of the reason I wanted to organize this networking session is because it can be really difficult to connect in a virtual environment. And I know that in person, there is kind of what I talked to earlier, this friendship building, this networking, collaborating with other schools and being able to get to know each other kind of in person. But we really wanted to make sure that we were creating an intentional environment for that to be able to happen here. So I'm really excited for this. You know, I know that there is some tech difficulties, but I really hope that y'all will be able to speak openly and honestly about kind of where your social work goals are. The next round of questions will kind of talk about, you know, what you're excited about for today, and then we'll talk about a policy issue that really matters to you. So I'm hoping that we can all be reflective and kind of openly share with each other and build on each other. But also it's good to have a dedicated time to be reminded, right? To exchange contact info in those small groups. Because I know that I have made that mistake so many times where I have great conversations with people and colleagues and then walk away from the Zoom room and it is, then I don't get them. So I'm hoping that that will also help facilitate that, because it may not be comfortable sending it to every single person. So
we are still having some challenges creating the breakout rooms. So Taylor,
They should be open now.
okay, well, let's try this. Everyone go to the bottom of their, if you didn't receive a prompt, go to the bottom of your Zoom screen where it says breakout rooms. If your screen is smaller, it may be the 3 dots. If you click breakout rooms, can y'all see that or no?
No,
No, we cannot see anything. Yeah, no breakout room.
Yes, thank you. My apologies. It disappeared again. Allison, can you make me the host again?
Okay, well, let's do this because we're waiting. I know that we've answered the first kind of question, but if y'all want to put in the chat, why did you decide to become a social worker? The second question, that would be great while we're getting this figured out. All right, well, I just had a great idea from one of the staff. We're going to go ahead and skip ahead to some of the material that I had planned for after the breakout rooms and come back to it because I want to make sure we're maximizing our time. And we have some great resources and events that I would love to share with you all. So yeah, let's go ahead and start here. So the reminder for today's agenda after this session, just to kind of remind yourself, I know we just had a brief overview, but we have our keynote speaker with Dr. Prince next. The message from Diego Bernal at 12:30, the Dare to Dream Meso panel starting at 1, and the Advocacy and Action Legislative Office visits from 2 to 3. And then the closing rally, which should be super fun. We hope that y'all will join us to kind of celebrate the end of today. We'll close out from 3 to 3:15. Next, we are going to share some resources and upcoming events. If we can move to the next slide, if that's possible. Great. There are several links and QR codes, so if you're a scanner, go ahead and get those phones out because we have a lot to share. First off, in the spirit of networking, I wanted to take the time to.
I think, but I'll come over when we're done if you're free.
Oh, okay. Let's make sure we're muting. If y'all have a second. All right, great. So I want to take the time to remind you all of some great digital networking tools and groups that we offer. So My NASW is a member exclusive social networking platform with different forums. Most notably are the all member forum and the student community, which I was contributed to spearheading during my internship with NASW and is still currently student-led and moderated. The Facebook groups, the NASW-TX social work students and the SWEL NASW groups are open to all. So if you're not a member, visit those Facebook groups, but the My NASW resource that comes with membership is phenomenal and it's a great opportunity for networking. If we can move to the next slide. Awesome. Now this, I'm actually very, very excited to share with y'all. We have the student resource packet. This PDF document, which you can download by scanning the QR or following the link, was created by myself in partnership with the membership committee for the purpose of clearly communicating the benefits of student membership and extending NASW resources to help students succeed on campus and beyond. This is the most comprehensive student-oriented resource that we've ever launched, and I'm hoping you will all take a look at it and spread the word that it exists. It is not just for members. There are many resources that are accessible regardless of membership, and we hope that every student interested in social work will have an opportunity to check those out. All
So I think we might have figured out what's going on.
Okay, great.
We're saying that we need to stop the live Facebook stream in
Okay.
order to do breakout rooms. So I'm stopping that now. And we're gonna try this again. Let's give it a go.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, if anybody has any other ideas of what it might be, because that did not do the trick.
Okay, well, let's just finish out these events and resources, and we'll see what we have with the time at the end. The next event that I'm really excited to talk to y'all about is the Social Work Month Student Town Hall, which is part of the NASW Student Engagement Series. This is a national series that has just been amazing so far. I've gotten to attend many of them. And if you've enjoyed having me as your host today, then this is a great one to go to because I will be a panelist at this town hall. But this is essentially a panel and it's a dedicated space to celebrate each other, network, and ask questions you have about graduation, job search, and just celebrate Social Work Month with students across the country. This is open and accessible to all students, regardless of membership, and it is free to attend. And we'll do next slide. Great. So next steps, NASW Texas mentorship led by NASW Texas intern William Rosen provides new and emerging professionals an opportunity to connect with potential mentors within similar fields of practice or interest. This is the first structured mentorship event that NASW has ever planned to put on for students. This one is members only because it will be a limited slot registration. So if you're interested in that, act quick because this is going to be a great opportunity to really dig into those conversations about your plans for your future and get to talk to someone who may be able to help you navigate some of those questions. And next up, the NASW Texas Pass Your LMSW and LCSW exam video course is now available. Watch at your leisure for up to 3 months from purchase and participate in a live Q&A with the instructor on April 26th. This is for LMSW and LCSW, and if there's anyone out there thinking about LBSW, just reach out and we'll talk about that as well. But this is an amazing opportunity to get prepared, and it is comprehensive. The instructor has many years of experience. We're getting a breakout room prompt now.
All right, breakout rooms are working.
Okay, they're good. I think it was the size, how many breakout rooms we were doing. I don't know what's happening with that, but so they're going to be a little bit larger rooms, about 10 to 11 people per, but at least we get to do this activity.
Okay, well, sounds great. Thank you so much.
Jess, can we adjust the time so that we still end
Yes.
at 11:10?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have us go live again once we bring everybody back in the breakout rooms.
That sounds good.
Perfect. Just let me know what slide you want me on, Jess.
Okay, and if I say everyone, it works, right?
No, only are you trying to broadcast a message to everybody?
Yes.
I send it to me and I'll do it.
Okay, it's in the chat. I'll just send you the next ones too.
I'm signing some people who just got in, and then I'll send that message.
it doesn't actually stay in the chat. It is only a pop-up. There's not a way to broadcast via chat.
You want me to go into each breakout room and just copy and paste?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'll give you another one to do as well. Hold on. And if you're a large group, please follow us within your groups. And I trust that y'all are great and networking and getting to know each other.
Hey, Jess, I've seen a couple of people have showed up. Is there a way they can jump into a breakout room?
Yes, I'm assigning them as they come in.
Perfect. Oh, thank you.
Jess, your message did go to the breakout room.
Okay. Did the second one did too, the 8-minute one?
No, just the first one.
Oh, I'll send that out. I didn't see the second one.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, if you're in this main room, we'd love for you to join a breakout room. So if you go down, there should be a square that says breakout rooms at the bottom of your screen. We'd love for you to join that.
Jess, that is not an option. We don't have a option to put ourselves in a breakout room.
I assigned you to one, Stacy. I will do it again. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
Hey, St. Ed's, we'd love for y'all to stay in this main room, and then y'all are going to be using these questions within your own group there live.
And that reminds me, Allison, can you put that slide back up?
I am no longer a host. I need to be made host again.
Okay, I got it. I can do it too, actually. I'm just gonna do it.
Melissa, I just assigned you to a group. I saw your message in the chat. For people who are just now coming in, we are in breakout rooms. If you'd like to join one, please let me know in the chat. I'm trying to assign people as they come in.
Taylor, I still do not have an option to join a room.
So can you go where on your like Zoom panel where you have like the chat and all that, do you see a more option?
There is not a more option.
Maybe at the top of your screen.
There is not an option to join a breakout room.
Interesting.
Yeah, on mine it's on the bottom. Some people it's on the top, but you should either get a pop-up or be able to go to that more tab and click join a breakout room. If it's not happening, that might just be a technical issue.
Do you have a tab for breakout rooms, Stacey? Do you have one that says breakout rooms?
I do not.
You do not have that one. Okay.
I do not have a more tab either.
Yeah, no, and it sounds like some people on the phone are having some issues. So we could always do the discussion in here for anyone who can't go, if that works, people.
Sure. I would say if anyone would like to share in here out loud, if there are large groups who can hear us and that is annoying, then feel free to turn it down. And I think I would like to share ID.
For those of you who are just now joining, We are doing breakout rooms right now. I'm trying to get people in breakout rooms as they come in, or you could stay in this main room.
Taylor, can you send the broadcast with the message I sent?
For sure.
Hey, Jess, we don't see the full screen with your kick out or kickoff breakout slides.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, I'm sorry for those who are experiencing technical difficulties. We're so glad that you're here. And if anyone would like to discuss a policy issue that impacts your community and identifies maybe which oppressive systems influence that issue and the role that social workers play in mobilizing solutions, I would love to hear it. I'm sorry the breakouts aren't working for everyone, but your voice is still valuable. And if you would like to share, I'm here to listen. So.
Hey, Jess, do you want to pull your slide up on the screen? All we're seeing are your tabs in the very top of your.
No. Okay, I'm so sorry. I thought that it was on the thing.
Maybe we can hear from one of the schools if they want to share something in the chat so that we can see what y'all are talking about.
I see some folks writing on a whiteboard. Love that. Workshopping it. I can actually talk about where this example came from if anyone is interested, for those who don't have a breakout room and are trying to stay engaged. This actually came out of a discussion from a different NASW-TX event about basically environmental justice and what that meant for social work. And so this was something that I wanted to bring as an example. So an issue in that case that was discussed in that conversation was water pollution and climate injustice being this kind of larger issue. And the systems that I identified that really influenced that were environmental racism and classism, especially because it was a low-income school district with a majority students of color. And the social work application that we kind of came up with in that discussion was that school social workers can advocate for testing of their water by the city and to advocate for clean water on their campuses to make sure that their water fountains weren't full of polluted water. And that was kind of micro application in addition to calling their reps and taking that macro step to action. So this is what I'm hoping that this question will prompt people to discuss their own policy issues in their communities, but that is actually where that example came from, was a real social worker that I had that conversation with who worked in a school setting. And If Taylor, you could let people know that we have about 5 minutes left, and to go ahead and share contact information.
Done and done.
And also, Taylor, if you could make sure that Allison is a host. When we come back, I will need to switch shares because I will need my script.
You need to switch chairs?
Can you make sure that Allison's a host because I will need her to share the screen once we come back.
Okay, she can do it as co-host. She's co-host. I got you.
In that case, Allison, can we go ahead and switch? Perfect. Thank you.
Is this where you want me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just so for all of you who have joined us really recently, we've got people in breakout rooms right now that are about to be coming back here pretty soon. We're talking about policies and interests. Someone's asking if you could show the screen with the schedule. You could also find the schedule on the SWAD website. I'm going to put the link for that in the chat now. Thank you, Rowan. My computer froze, so thank you for putting that in there. So someone asked in the chat while we have this time if we could reintroduce ourselves. And when we do, I actually have not introduced myself yet. I'm Taylor Zamorano. I'm a member engagement and communication specialist here at NASW Texas. I am fair-skinned. I have long, dark hair, big, nerdy glasses, and I have a Zoom background that says Social Work Advocacy Day with our website and the date and NASW logo. Jess or Allison, anyone else would like to reintroduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Allison Moore-Boulware. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm the Government Relations Director here at NASW Texas. I'm fair-skinned. I have long brownish blondish hair. I'm wearing gold tube earrings. And then behind us or behind me is the NASW Texas SWAD background that Taylor described as well. We're so glad y'all are here and really appreciate, people sticking with us through these tech issues. Y'all know how it is when you're doing an event this large. So thank y'all for being flexible with us.
Jess, what do you do?
Good call. Thank you. I'm Jess Riley. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm the student engagement coordinator here at NASW-TX. And essentially, my goals are to connect with and engage with social work students across the state of Texas and build partnerships at the 47 schools of social work that we have here in our state. And just really focus on creating resources and opportunities and event templates to really allow for the maximum student empowerment from all angles. I'm going to give a couple more minutes before we come back. I like to say 5 minutes before it's actually 5 minutes, just to enforce urgency. So just going to give a couple more minutes for people to finish up those conversations and breakouts, and then we'll close out. But Chris, you're on. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, good morning, y'all. Chris Kraft. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm a pretty pale dude. I've got a bomb floral print shirt on today. Also rocking the SWAD Zoom background. I am in my last semester of graduate studies at the University of Texas at Austin, and have been working with Allison this semester for my final field placement. I went to my first SWAT event back in 2014 as an undergraduate social work student, and actually had the memory pop up on Facebook today from March 4th, 8 years ago. So really cool to have that reminder of where it all started.
And Will, it looks like we had an inquiry and a reminder of what you do here.
Yeah, I was just typing in. Thank you, Julia. Will Francis, he, him, his. I am the executive director of NASW Texas. I formerly served as the government relations director. So NASW Texas is a place I've been at a little over 6 years, almost 7 years. And in my role as executive director, I help manage the chapter. So I work with this amazing group of people, and really my goal is to empower them to see how far and how fast and how high they can go with what they do. I help with all the other areas when it comes to membership, when it comes to management, when it comes to our conference, when it comes to everything. I help coordinate that. But really, my ultimate goal is to engage with members, is to work with social workers across the state, and is to really promote the profession. I used to say that when I was a lobbyist, I was telling everybody outside of social work how great social work is. And now that I'm the executive director, I get to tell everybody inside of social work how great social work is.
Well, thanks y'all for asking that. And I'm sorry for y'all that breakout rooms weren't working for, but Taylor, if you're able to start bringing everyone back, I think that this is a great time to do that.
Right. My computer is frozen, so I
initiated
Allison to do that.
Great. Thank you, Allison.
I hit close all rooms and nothing has happened.
Okay.
I'm in there.
Okay. I also pressed it and it said close in 60 seconds. So hopefully that is accurate. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, we do have an agenda there. We will post that. I'll post that back in the, maybe one of the interns could post that in there.
Yes, it looks like Rowan did. Thank you, Rowan.
Thank you.
Taylor, do we have any word on what is happening with the?
We're working on, I'm on Allison's right now. There's a bug with the breakout rooms because open, but it's not allowing us to close the room. So we broadcast a message to all for people to come back. Maybe we should start bouncing around rooms, asking people to come back.
Yeah, that would be great. Chris, are you able to do that?
Can the interns start going to rooms and bringing people back?
Sure. We saw the instruction in our room and I instructed them to jump out. I don't think everybody saw it, but I did. And so I think ours is closed down.
Okay, great. Thank you. Usually there would be a countdown automatic prompt that forces you back in here, but for some reason, these breakout room functions are just giving us trouble today. So I appreciate everyone's kindness and patience while we kind of work through this. But if you are coming back from a breakout room, just to make sure that we are getting everyone back in, we're going to kind of round up everyone, but I would love to see in the chat kind of how you're feeling after that. Like, do you feel connected or energized or hopeful or inspired? Love it. Connected. Ooh, these words are so good. Keep them coming. Enriched. Awesome. Awesome. Validated. We love that. Motivated, bonded, hopeful, encouraged, assured, enlightened, empowered. Educated. That's great. Encouraged. Comfortable. Camaraderie. Inspiring.
Oh, I can't turn it off.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right. Are we still getting people back here? I think so. Well, while we're getting folks back here, I'm just going to go ahead and, please continue sharing in the chat. It is just amazing to hear and feel like this was the purpose of this event, was to be able to facilitate those kind of smaller groups. I wish we had, more moderation and things like that, but I know that y'all just did a great job, sharing with each other and navigating the space together. So I really appreciate your flexibility on that. And I hope that you do feel more connected and like you got to, talk about things that you share with others that you have never met before. I think that's an amazing benefit to the virtual space is that wide range of people who are able to attend. So let's just talk about this important announcement that I'm extremely excited to share. This is actually the last kind of resource or event that I was going to go over, but as of yesterday, graduation cords for student members are now free, and $5 will cover postage. So originally the cost was $5 plus that $5 postage, but we have cut the cost in half. The cord itself is free. We just need money to get it to you. And this is something that we have been working on developing a process for a while. And hopefully by this time next year, we are trying to eliminate that shipping cost as well. But I'm just so thrilled that we were able to reduce that cost for y'all. And a reminder that it is only for student members. So if you're someone who loves to be decorated or wants to be recognized for your contribution to the social work profession, this is a great way to show your pride for social work. So if you're not a member, please join in order to get your cord. And I think actually that will bring us into the next section if we're able to transition slides, but I'm not sure if we are. Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, are you a member yet? Have y'all joined NASW yet? If we go to the next slide, we actually have the top 5 reasons for students to join NASW, many of which were referenced in previous slides relating to the events that we're putting on. But the first one is to build a community of social workers and social work students through online and in-person events. Number two is to engage in professional development and access career help. Our NASW Career Center is phenomenal. There's an employer exclusive database where you can post your resume and scan kind of job options and postings. The third is to advocate for policy in your community, at the Texas legislature, and nationally. We all have those local, state, and national aspects to this. Number four is to receive that exclusive Teal member cord at graduation. And so again, you know, if you're not haven't joined yet, that make sure you do, because graduation is coming up quick for all y'all seniors. And the fifth one is to receive a reduced membership cost. It's reduced for students if you join before graduation for up to 3 years post-grad. So the cost of student membership is $60, which is 75% off of what the normal professional membership rate is. And if you join before graduation, that continues through your time as a transitional student in order to support that process. So absolutely, if you're about to graduate or you're trying to think about it, make sure you do that before graduation, because you will save yourself money post-graduation. You will get that cord to show your pride. And I don't know, I joined way earlier than my senior year. So I hope that, you know, through some of the resources and events that we've gone over, those of y'all who are freshmen, sophomores, juniors will also see the benefit to joining as a current student, you know, not just to prepare for your professional life, but to really make use of the resources and the support that we offer during your education. And if you go to the next slide, become a member today. Like I said, join before graduation to save, because you save 75% off. For BSWs, that continues 2 years post-grad. And then you restart the student rate as you go into your MSW. For MSW students, that continues up to 3 years post-grad. So really, if you were trying to maximize your membership cost, you could technically have like 4 years of BSW, 2 years transitional, 2 years MSW, and 3 years transitional, and have this 11-year reduced membership cost for students if you really wanted to make use of that. But either way, whenever you join, as long as you join as a student, you will be saving yourself money in the future. And we hope that you'll consider that. Student membership, it costs less than a cup of coffee a month, y'all. If you really break it down, it is affordable. And, you know, we provide kind of tangible opportunities and resources and benefits that we feel make it worth it. So I hope that y'all will see that as well. I am going to pause kind of 2 seconds just to, if you want to scan that QR code and follow that link. I know we've had many QR codes and links throughout the presentation, but this one is important. So we'll take 2 seconds, and then if folks are good, we'll move to the next one. All right, well, be sure to follow us, our social media, and stay connected, specifically the NASW Texas Advocacy Twitter if you are obviously an advocacy focused event. So if you're really interested in staying up to date on those changes and nuances and what we're doing to, you know, fight for social workers and our clients and social work students, then absolutely follow those and to stay connected. And the next slide. And that's it. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all of y'all again, kind of sticking with us through some of those tech difficulties. I hope that you were able to get some contact information, able to have some good conversation, feel empowered and ready to engage in the amazing speakers that we have lined up. And if y'all want to stay on for our next guest speaker, our keynote with Dr. Prince, that would be phenomenal. But we do have an extra 5 minutes, so this is a great time to go to the bathroom and get a drink and then come back. But
yeah, thank you so much, Jess. We are actually going to be stopping the Zoom, trying to address tech issues. Everyone, please rejoin using the exact same link at 11:10. Thank you all so much for being flexible with us. Please leave the Zoom. We are stopping the Zoom. Come back in, same link at 11:10. Thanks, everyone.